I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Come Up series. This is the Marc and Moh Show. My name is Mark. I am a YouTuber. You can find me on Uncultured Currency, where I talk about finances, or Half-Breed Observer if you're interested in political stuff. To my right is my co-host.
I'm Mo from OTB Clubhouse.
Hopefully you guys had a wonderful week. Mo, how you been, man?
It's been good, bro. It's been good. I love being in a sunny weather in December. Never had that before.
It's weird, man. You'll love it for a while, but like after like 4 or 5 years, you'll get tired of it. You're like, I kind of want the snow. I want the real like Christmas experience. Are you excited about Christmas though?
Yeah, very excited. We have family coming over, so should be fun.
Amazing. How are your kids adjusting so far?
Bro, they love it. They discovered a cafeteria at the school, and so it's cafeteria every day almost.
And is the school one of those ones that give you free lunch no matter what your income is?
No. It's paid. But I don't think kids there have a cafeteria in grade 1 in Canada. So it's a new experience for him.
Yeah, it wasn't until I moved to Florida, to be honest, where I noticed that school lunch was free no matter what bracket you're in, at least as far as my kids have been this entire time. And I'm not on the lower income level side of things, but my kids here in Florida have always been getting free lunch at public schools. But they've only been in public school for like 2 years, I believe now at this point. Actually surprisingly preferred over charter schools. Been looking into that, and I heard that sometimes the charter schools take a lot of money away from actual public schools and from students that actually require it. So speaking of schools, you ready to jump into today's topic?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. All right, we got this Santa rally that we're going to talk about today, right, Mo? But first and foremost, let's talk about a trade that you made.
So, do you want to talk about our prediction last week? So my prediction was money is going to rotate from tech into small caps. And when we had this conversation, we were sitting at 175-ish, 175, 176. Right now, IWM is sitting somewhere on 186 to 188, depending on what time you're looking at. So we're up roughly 10 points. And the secret here, which there isn't, it's just seasonality. This happens every single year, where in December, money starts flowing from big tech into small caps, regional banks, and we call them garbage stocks. And another thing that got added this year is, I was talking to Mark about it earlier too, that as interest rates go down now, these garbage stocks fly up because people are willing to take more risk on, because the cost of borrowing is now going down. So we'll talk about it more. So stocks like BTON, stock like Robinhood. We talked about Robinhood last week, right? That stock is up about roughly, you should be up roughly 300% on it. I've been posting my screenshots. The last layer I sold was at 180%. And those are Jan contracts. They're already in the money. I think it could go to 15. It'll be 1,000% play. I think personally, it's gotten harder for small accounts to grow their account, but there's cycles that come in. And I was saying that on my live too. There's this cycle from here all the way till March. You could see people with $4 or $5 being able to really grow their account very fast. You don't have to worry about getting one contract of Tesla. You can play these small caps because they move very fast, but you're going to see small caps going up. We'll talk more about it in a bit, but you're going to see a lot of that coming on. And how do we know it's too late is when people will start saying Beyond is going to 100. That's when everyone's in.
It's late. You get out. So it's funny because that Bitcoin also has been running up recently, and everyone's talking about, the $100,000 call again, right? Or that the $20,000 was the call that everyone predicted, and now it's at 40,000 and it's going to continue to go back. I mean, is it still at 40,000? Yesterday was. Let me see where it's at today. I mean, a lot of stuff, honestly, at this point, 43,000. At this point, man, a lot of stuff seems like it's just completely overbought. What's your thoughts on that?
I think I don't think I so here's what I think. I think it would be nice to for tech to sell off if you guys want to like hire, which is what everyone wants. So when I say we need a pullback, people think I'm being bearish. No, for it to get the next leg up, it needs to get the retracement, which is where I think small caps go off tech, pull back a little bit, and then into January you get another rip. Again, that's seasonality. It's not me figuring this out overnight. You could just go look at the seasonality chart. You're gonna find that. I do think stock like coin and crypto is over leveraged and overbought. So someone bought in 2 million worth of Jan puts on coin, considerable open position today. So
Oh wow. Okay. And then last week we were also speaking about gold, GLD. Did you ever end up getting into that position at all? Because I think you were waiting or you got into it, right?
I got in. I added more. The position I added, bro, it was EGO. It was for April 15 calls. With that kind of stuff, I just want to keep building my position. I don't want to keep checking every 5 minutes if it's gone up or not. I think gold is the next theme. If it dips, I'm going to buy more, but that's just my way of doing it. Like on 100K, not on 100K. If I had 100K to put on gold, I would go 80-20. I would go 80% commons and 20% options. That's how I would play. I think gold's going to go up. I think small cap's going to go up. There is I sent it to the people in the Discord. Let me just read it out. I want to be accurate. It is the ticker symbol is NEM. I believe it's gold mining as well, and they bought shares in Dark Pool, and then they also had options. If just loading up once. Okay, yeah. So they bought 41 calls for 12.15 for $41 worth. 120K, and then they bought, this is crazy, I'm just seeing this now, this is 6 hours ago, they bought $142 million worth of commons 6 hours ago on NEM.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I could tell you how my play went because I told you guys I was in a vertical call spread. It broke way above where I initially expected because we talked about this last week Thursday. Last week Thursday, GLD gold was at one, I believe is 187, 188 around that. The very next day, yeah, I opened up my phone and the shit went to 191. So it went above my short strike position on the verticals. So I end up actually exiting out of the position for a small loss of $40. So basically the very next day we saw what happened, right? I think it was, let me pull it up real fast. By that Friday, nope, sorry, by that Monday morning, gold dropped significantly to the point where I could have profited had I just held a little bit longer because the position was going to expire tomorrow. It was under 190. I would have gotten at least 80 to 90% as of today. And so I completely dropped the ball on that one. Just being honest about it. So it broke above. My rule was 191. I stuck to it. It jumped above 191. I think it went to 192. I didn't think it was going to pull back that quickly, but it literally did. The very next day, it dropped $4 or $5. So that position was a bust for me. But we're gonna get into the Santa rally. If you guys just showed up, we're just talking about some stock stuff real quick with Mo. I'm going to because we're gonna talk about the Santa rally, right? Still, we're gonna talk about that here at the end, Mo.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now I'm just going to jump into the entertainment section real quick, give you guys a break if you missed the beginning part, because usually we start with me, then we start with Mo. So if you missed the beginning part, go ahead, rewind real quick. Let's get into the entertainment talk real fast.
Trigger warning. The following content may contain opinions, thoughts, and subject matter that could be sensitive or triggering for some individuals. Viewer discretion is advised.
I was talking about with my wife today about school shootings. Is that something that you are concerned about coming from Canada to here?
I don't know, bro. So let me tell you the setup here. I find it quite impressive. So they have, I think, bulletproof gates. Looks like steel doors, and you can't really get in the school. Like if I as a parent need to get in, I can't have to press a button. With the button, they have a camera. They're gonna ask me what my name is. So only parents can get in. That too. Your IDs and everything need to be on their end. So in Canada, our schools are open. Like anyone can walk in. If you wanted to go back in the back of the playground, you could. It's open. It's literally connected to a communal playground.
Mm.
So I don't know if that's how Florida is too, but
No, Florida, not at all. Because I don't know if you recall, you may not have been paying attention to the news. Back in 2018 in Florida, we had Parkland shooting. That was a pretty big deal. It was a school shooting. Immediately afterwards, from what I recall, every single door was revamped at every single school. So the state invested money to make sure there was locks on there with buzzers. So you have to actually ring a doorbell. There's a camera there, and it will you have to get buzzed in by the front desk. Not only that, there's always typically 2 cops at every single school patrolling. One's usually on foot, the other one's outside in the front, just watching and paying attention. So the minute that Parkland happened, our schools are locked down. At this point, it's pretty difficult to try to just bust into a school unless you're coming behind a kid or something like that, and kids don't pay attention. But not trying to give anybody's ideas, but I'm just saying they're really, really strict with it out here in Florida. So I'm assuming just as much as Texas, because Texas has had some school shootings as well. So
bro, like on a side note, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you have to be very worried about like Texas." This place that we live in is safer than I'd say where we lived in Canada. Like people have no bike locks, which is a big thing in Vancouver downtown. Bikes used to get jacked, stolen all the time.
mhm.
People leave their garage doors open here, which it's unheard of. Like, and I've never seen like so. I think it depends. I think in America, correct me if I'm wrong, it really depends on where you live. Like you could say you live in Texas, but it's just 2 different Texas, so it depends on where you live. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
absolutely, 100%. That's true. Because like I know a lot of people say Florida's crazy, the Florida man. And I think I made this clear before when we had our initial very first podcast together. I explained the whole Florida man situation. The reason why a lot of you see stories coming from Florida is because they have an open press, meaning that anybody can come and get public records of arrests and whatnot. It's always public here in Florida. So it's a lot easier, where other states, they're a little bit more tight-lipped on it and have a tight ship on how to get information and crime records and etc. So that's why you see a lot of stuff happening in Florida. Don't get me wrong, though. There are some crazy people out here. The guy who was living with alligators and got eaten. The guy who was eating another guy's face underneath a bridge. So there's a lot of crazy stuff that does happen here occasionally. But for the most part, like you said, you are right. It depends where you live. Like where I live, it's relatively safe. But if you go to like Jacksonville, I believe it is. I think it has a pretty high crime rate here in Florida. I believe it's Jacksonville, or I'm pretty sure it's Jacksonville. I could be wrong, but it has like it's a major city of crime and murder specifically. In fact, when DeSantis and Newsom were debating, Newsom had brought up the fact that San Francisco's murder rates are a lot lower than Florida, but he was playing with the numbers, and he mentioned, I believe it was Jacksonville, and he was accurate about that. He was comparing San Francisco to Jacksonville. So it's all about the numbers. If you look on the bigger picture of things, no, the crime rate is actually significantly lower here in Florida. I'm not sure about Texas, but in Florida is actually below the medium of the United States, and California is like way above. It was pretty interesting to see that data. But the reason why I was bringing up this school shooting stuff is because it seems to be more and more common these days, as well as just like active shooter incidents. And I don't remember if did you hear in the news Halloween this year here in Tampa, where there was I guess they called it active shooter. Did you see that one at all or hear about it?
No, I didn't, bro.
Yeah, they consider a mass shooting simply because I guess they identify if 4 or more people are involved in a shooting, whether it's killed or injured, it's considered a mass shooting. So it sounds like it was a 14-year-old kid, kids arguing in the middle of Ybor City, was it Ybor City, which if it's basically like the downtown of Tampa, is a historical location. It's party city on the weekends, a lot of college students. Something erupted during Halloween. Dude took out a gun and started shooting. So they recorded it on camera. Someone saw it, like a group of kids. It looks like some gang or something arguing, and a kid took out a gun and started shooting and ended up killing a few people. Anyways, he's being charged with second-degree murder. 14 years old, y'all. 14 years old. It is insane. And the reason why I was even bringing up school shooting, because yesterday, this happened. UNLV in Las Vegas. That's the college over there. This one was really interesting, Mo. Have you heard about this one at all?
No.
Yeah, it seems like no one's really covering it as much as I thought it would be on television. Like I didn't see anything on the news really, but this was a 67-year-old college professor that came in and killed 3 students, and I believe injured 1, or killed 2 and injured 1. It's pretty crazy. It even says here, it says Wednesday at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, was a 67-year-old career college professor whose online profile paints a picture of a man fascinated by Vegas, puzzles, and conspiracy theories. The gunman, identified as, I don't even say his name, law enforcement sources, died after a confrontation with police outside of a university building. So clearly the guy either took his life or whatnot. I just came across this real quick, and I wanted to bring it up because I was going to talk about the whole active shooting situation that happened in Tampa. I just want to give a follow-up. And I remembered you live in Texas, and I just wanted to see what your thoughts are on this. Another interesting fact that I discovered recently, I was started looking up where are we, the United States, compared to the world with active shooters? Dude, we are outpacing people significantly. I'm talking about hundreds, where other countries is 1 or 2. Worst case I saw was 4. Here in America, man, it's crazy. It seems to be almost every single weekend. And the argument is about gun control and stuff like that. But like you said, in Texas, you feel extremely safe, right? Where you're not seeing a lot of these lootings and riots happening in Florida or Texas. Why do you think? Everyone has guns. So are you thinking about getting one, by the way, yourself?
I don't know, bro. So, hey, let me tell you another fact that I should have started with. So, the city we live in, I'm not going to give out the name. You probably know where it is because I sent you the address. It is the #1 city for any gun crime, also the safest city in states. So that might be the reason why I feel the way I do, and that's why we picked this place. It took us about close to 3 months finding a place here for that reason, because they have, I think, the best schools. Most schools here are 9 out of 10 how you guys rate it, and then it's safe. But yeah, man, stuff that I watch here, or people talk, just parents, about gun control. I saw that someone was selling these bags that convert into bulletproof jackets. I don't know if you've seen that. So it's like a bag, and you pull it out like this, and it comes as a vest for it's a bulletproof jacket for kids. And then I saw it was a demo that this company was doing, how if there's an active shooting, how you take the table and make it into a closure. So
Yeah.
person, it's crazy. I think they could do something else. And so I always say about critical thinking, you are saying it's gun control. I think it's deeper. I think
no, I'm saying people are saying it's gun control. I'm definitely against what the popular opinion is on fixing the situation, just to be clear. But go ahead.
I think it's most people that are doing it, are they mentally are they okay? What are they doing? I would look at drug control over gun control. What kind of drugs are easily available, and what are these private companies doing to get approvals to pass these? Because, bro, I'm gonna go back to the driving. I'm telling you, this is not normal driving pattern, and I'm seeing people just the road rage. Because look, why is, in my opinion, yes, giving someone a gun, and if that they're not psychologically okay, is not right. But imagine if someone behind the wheels also not okay, they could do the same amount of damage.
Yeah.
And you're probably like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But
we went from what do you think it is? Mental health issues, man, and driving. Definitely driving.
well, let me explain. I'm not saying the danger is the same. I'm saying you can see these patterns in other areas too, and that's how I know it's not just gun control. I think it's usually I don't know if you know this, but a lot of laws that are applicable in terms of food ingredient stuff in states aren't legal in Canada.
Oh, yeah, even in Europe, yeah, a lot of stuff is illegal over there because they control their food and they make sure that they're not doing a bunch of hormones, steroids, chemicals, all that stuff. They're very strict about it. Yeah, absolutely.
So when I hear that, I already know that they're a little bit more lenient on what's allowed and what's not allowed. So, but yeah, I don't want to sound crazy, but I see there's some massive red flags with people. I don't think it's so much gun control, but yeah, that does add to the problem. Not saying it doesn't, but
yeah, I mean, if you look at every single one of these mass shootings, it is a mental health issue.
Yeah.
But the question is, how do you catch that? Because at this point now, at least from my own point of view, what I've observed, in these past couple of years, it seems like having a mental health issue makes you special. And it's like the fad. It's like cool to have a mental health issue. Like, I'm depressed about this, or I'm dealing with this, I'm on this. What are you on? It's really strange. And I noticed that there's been an increase of children overdosing on drugs and being killed by gun violence. So maybe we need to start focusing a little bit more on mental health, but try to do it in a way where we're not making it seem like every single person has a mental health
It's not a
issue.
pass.
Yeah.
We shouldn't do it like it's so. If you have mental health, is it still okay to do it? Like, and like, who's responsible? Are their parents? Like, we need to hold someone accountable, because if you make it a pass, then that's what it becomes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then the other topic we want to touch on, since we're talking about violence in schools, the trailer finally came out for one of the most anticipated video games. I know you're probably wondering, why am I bringing up video games? There's a reason for it, but let's take a look. You haven't watched it yet, Mo. I'm going to get your reaction. Do you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, let me know if there's no volume. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Grand Theft Auto 6. Is there audio?
Yeah, we're good.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
There was a girl I knew. She said she cared about me. She tried to make my world the way she thought it should be. Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other to hold, but love
Clearly, it's Florida, as you can tell.
is a long road. Your love is a long road.
Well, look who's back. The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team.
Has every single stereotype you can possibly think of in there.
Trust?
Trust. What do you think?
It says 2025, so it's not coming next year.
No. And that's the reason why I wanted to bring this up, actually. It actually tanked the stock a little bit, somewhat. Everyone was anticipating next year. No, it's not coming out until 2025. So let me bring up real quick. If the reason why I'm bringing up Grand Theft Auto is simply, it's one of the most iconic games out there. I think it's been around, man, since I was a kid. The first one was like the top view on PlayStation, and I played the hell out of it. It was one of my favorite games. And then when it went into that whole 3D world where it was open-ended environment, that changed the game. So every 10 years or so, they seem to drop the last couple, since the fourth one. It seems like every 10 years they seem to try to drop a game. That game makes a lot of money, Mo. Did you know that to this day? It's been 10 years since it came out, and people are still buying it. The online community is huge. People spend a lot of money on the online merch and coins or whatever else you need for upgrades. So the company that owns Rockstar is Take-Two Interactive Software. And if you look at it on the long-term aspect of things, of right now, it is really near the all-time high on the 52-week high. The 52-week high was 161. The 52-week low was $97. If you look at the 5-year, it's not the best looking chart in general, but the question is, like, how do they usually perform when Rockstar games get released? Now, I was mentioning the reason why their stock, I mean, it was started moving up in November because it was announced that in December 1st, they were going to actually release the trailer to Grand Theft Auto, with everyone anticipating that 2024 was going to be the day or the year that it would get released. Unfortunately, it was 2025. And since then, it kind of sold off just a little bit. Have you also noticed that on Google, they made these updates, which I think is pretty cool. If you go to the 5-year chart, they show you like key events that happen that either cause the stock to go up or down based on bearish moves and bullish moves. Did you notice that?
I had no idea. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I saw like the other day it says right here, like, report strong results for fiscal year 2022. I moved up 11% that day. Previously, it was some bad news, down 13%. I think this is pretty cool. This it has to be a new feature because this is the first time I've seen it like right before when I was pulling up the chart. Question is, I know you don't really like to invest in like individual tickers like that, but just looking at the chart yourself, what's your thoughts? Do you think at this point it's probably going to cool off with the news that's happening year to date? I mean, it's up 53%. What's your thoughts on this one?
So GTA was one of my favorite games. Probably spent hours, days playing this
Mhm.
game. I think the stock probably should have reacted more with the news because people don't have the attention span to wait 2 years. Personally, bro, I think I'm at a place where I wouldn't long here.
Okay.
And if people are already like, I have some individual tickers that I'm long on, like I have gold, I have hood, I have Disney, and I look for stuff that's sold off and can potentially go. I'm not saying that we can't see another 53% on Take Two again, but remember we talked, I don't know it off by you might, there's an ETF for a gaming sector. I forgot the name. We could look it up and bring it up next week. I'd rather invest in that. It's an ETM for just ETF for just, sorry, gaming stocks.
Yeah, I feel like I was it. Hold on, Hero. There you go. Was it
Yeah,
Hero
yeah,
ETF?
yeah.
Okay, I remember. Yeah, I just pulled it up. I let me see what the holdings were when I was first getting into learning about the stock market and stuff. I started looking at a lot of the ETFs. Yeah, it's Hero. I used to be invested into it. Unfortunately, I sold out because I'm all about paper hands over here. Take Two. Yep, the Take Two is the number one holding. It looks like if I'm
Nintendo's
correct.
there.
Yep. Nintendo's the second holding. So Take Two, Nintendo 7%. I guess you could put EA as well as it's 6.91. So let's round it up. So yeah, the top three are one of the biggest companies there. They also have Roblox in it. That's new. I didn't have that before. Capcom. That's hey yo, thanks for bringing that up again. I do look at expense
I'm an
ratio.
ETF guy, Mark. I don't think personally, I don't think a lot of retail traders should be looking at individual stocks if it's long term because look, these are pretty good companies. You get leverage. Unity software is also part of it.
hmm
So
Yeah. And I'm glad you actually brought that up. Yes, you're right. Because you're an ETF guy. And like I told you guys multiple times, in my long-term portfolio, it is majority ETFs. QQQ, SPY. I have Jets, and I also have XLF. And I have two other positions I've spoken about before, spec plays. But if I would add anything else in my Roth, it would have to be in an ETF. On my dividend portfolio, that one, yeah, that's where I have individual stocks and I buy here and there where I have spare cash because you could do fractional shares. Looking at this though, I do like Hero. I'm glad that they updated it. They added some additional stuff in there. So I'm going to take a look at it. I don't know what the levels or if I can even recommend it right now or anything like that. But everything already is overbought, man. Even looking at my dividend portfolio, I've been buying when a lot of these dividend stocks were getting hit. I caught some at the bottom, some I didn't, some I got close to the bottom, like Target, and ADN, that was a great one. Was down 10% on those. I'm pulling it up right now to take a look. But everything to me right now, I'm trying to see where I could deploy some cash because I do have cash. I did not go heavy. I was worried about recession, interest rates, inflation. Call me scaredy cat. That's okay. I'd rather be safe than sorry. And I've noticed that everything at this point seems to have reached somewhat its peak. We talked about like Dollar Tree and Dollar General a couple weeks ago as well. I think we were talking about when it was close down to a 52-week low. It went out all the way down to 101. I was comfortable with buying around there. Now it's I think at like 130. If I had bought it at the low hundreds, I was waiting for the breach below it. It did not. But had I bought it at the 100s, at right now would probably be a time I would probably shave off some shares if I allocated a certain amount of funds that are bigger than I feel comfortable with because it ran up over 20% since we called it. Just trying to be nice that we maybe called it around 110 or something like that. So it's been up over 20 some percent already in such a short time after the bad earnings that I wouldn't be surprised that it got bought up after the earnings, after it sold off, just to go back up a little bit and then possibly sell off again if the earnings are not good. Although DG, Dollar General, did announce that they're not planning on having a very strong next physical quarter. and therefore stuff sold off as well. Hence the reason why it was as low as it was. But with these situations, they kind of put it out there that don't expect anything great, and if they do perform over what the streets are expecting, it's going to have a nice little pop. But right now, I personally, if I was looking at Dollar General, I wouldn't go heavy right now where it's at. In fact, if I had the shares, I would be shaving off some. So that was just my input on some of these stocks and shares and stuff like that. So just wanted to cover that. All right, you ready to go over to? Do you have anything to add to that, by the ways?
No, I agree with you. I think if you're investing, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to anyone who's trading. We look for pullbacks, and that's not saying if something's high, it can't go higher. Like I said, this could go higher. But I'm like looking at the hero chart. It has like the biggest bull flag I've seen in a long time on a daily. It's crazy. If this breaks, it's going to get to the highs, which is 2150, and then keep going higher. But the chart setup on Hero looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the verticals on this one as well because you guys know I'm a vertical trader. I do the wheel strategy as well. When it comes to vertical trading, I personally like ETFs. They're a little bit more predictable. The moves are a lot smaller, not as aggressive or volatile. However, your premiums won't be that great, but I'm okay with it. Again, I'm all about the slow race. Slow race wins in the long term, personally. All right, let's switch over to you, Mo, before we run out of time. Let's go over to Is a Santa Rally Real?
Okay, awesome.
Let me pull
All right,
up
can you
the
help
chart.
me with adding the chart, please?
Got you up.
All right, let's look at. I'm gonna talk about IWM quickly. So this is a daily chart for IWM. Yeah, perfect. I hate this new trading view setting. Hold on, let me. Fix this for us. Okay, so the longer we stay in this zone, whenever the breakout happens, it is going to be very, very elaborate and explosive. I think these are my levels. Let me show you guys. We have 190 next. Once that breaks, we're looking to hit our next supply, which is at 198. And once we break that, 202, and then this thing gets going. But we need to clear the 190, 97 or 87. That is going to be the most key. We did a Fibonacci last time, and basically 177 was the 68.3 percentile. And I said, once that breaks, this thing's gone. And if you guys look at just how it's going, so gap up, consolidation, another gap up, consolidation, sitting at another bull flag after another bull flag. So I love it. I think I have 185 calls for this January. I actually gave 3 plays last week and they all went. And if anyone followed either, I think gold is still lagging, but if you followed IWM or if you followed the hood trade, you'd be up roughly 300 to 500, depending on what contract you pick. But this could be massive. So I'm already in the money. I'm still holding. I've only sold one layer. I think it'll be 200 by January. The next one we have is gold. So let's look at NEM. I'm not in this trade, but I'm looking at it tomorrow. So it's a gold mining, and miners and gold both should go up. This thing is at a supply and it keeps rejecting at this supply. This is a supply. For you guys who don't know supply demand, just consider this as a resistance, 4120, 4130. Once we break this, we're getting to 43. But what I'm trying to show you is forget everything. Like, everyone can show you charts, but here's what I'm trying to show you. This trend line is from April. It's been declining, and we finally were able to break this on 21st November. That's the important part, that we've broken something after 6 months. Now, This is the supply. Once we break this thing goes. Just to give you guys, again, for the people that are joining now, I'm going to give you guys some numbers that came in today for NEM for people that missed it. So someone bought 3 million shares, 3.599 million shares of NEM today. So it's not yesterday, it's today, for $142 million. So $142 million. And then someone also bought calls. So this is calls for next week, 15th December. For these calls are for 41 strike price. They bought it for 34 cents. Now, personally, am I following this? I wouldn't follow this because it's too early, as in it's for next week, and gold doesn't really move explosively like something like Tesla or Hood or Beyond would move. So I'm looking further out calls. I'd probably look at April, May, June, even 2025. Now, one thing I want to talk about, and this is mostly for traders, if you are a small account and you have $500, I don't think it's smart to put $300 into a April or June contract because you're looking to compound now. You will run out of patience and then you're going to have your capital block. So for you, a month to 2 months is the furthest out I would look. And now I'm not saying go take gold calls. Find something that's explosive. IWM is one, Beyond, HUD, CVNA, like you can find them. We're getting in that cycle now where memes is going to fly. That's what you want to watch out for. This personally, like, is for people that have the patience, the time, and the capital. So if you have, I don't want to say 100K, but let's say if you have a 5K account, if I had a 5K account, I would not mind allocating 500 to 800 onto this. So this might clear some confusion that people are like, would you allocate 4K? Would you allocate 2K? No, this is how I do it. I'll give you an example of HUD. My small account, 5K account, had 20 contracts. By the time I was up 300%, I had only 5 contracts left. So now that's how I roll. The 5 contracts that are left, their actual cost to me is $250. They're up about 300%, so they're roughly around $1,000. I'm not looking at them for a while. My stop on that will be 50. So if it gets to 500, I'll cut them, but I'm still going to be up 200% regardless. So we're looking at NEM. This thing can go. Other trade I've never had these many plays for, I'd say, about last 7 or 8 months. I'm only doing 2. This is Beyond. Let's clear everything again. This is the daily chart for Beyond. So if you guys look at it, this is why I call this garbage. Not because like I'm trying to offend people that own. It's because like at what point do you cut this, right? Because it's going lower and lower. But when
You
it
never
goes,
cut it, Mo. You hold it. Diamond hands, bro. You gotta hold this all the way down to 0 unless you're just not willing to be part of the team.
I guess if you have inside information, different thing. But so this has, let me explain you this, Mark. You're gonna like this. So why do I like Beyond? So forget the chart. I feel like the most pushed thing taught to retailers is chart. The most biased and subjective things are chart. So let's go facts on this, okay? This has a short interest ratio of 45%, meaning it's shorted by that much. Apart from that, the borrowing cost on the stocks that are getting shorted is gone up by 220%, and they're running out of shorts that you can borrow. So if this continues, this is going to get a major squeeze. Let me give you the levels on this. And I'm telling you this right now, no one will say this. Levels don't matter when things get squeezed, okay? They don't matter because you're just blowing through people that are getting crushed because they borrowed these stocks and they're just covering at that point. So if you feel like your level worked out, it doesn't. It's going up. Rocket is going up. It's going to hit all those levels and you're going to think it's your level. It's not. I think the key level, that only level that happens that you should follow for memes when it's short covering is your stop loss. So when I go in them, I go very small. So if it's a 50K account, let's say, I'm not throwing in 10K in this account, maybe 2K, maybe 3K, nothing more, because you have to have a wider stops for stuff like this. So like, let me just show you this today. This is how this chart has been acting. Look at this, Mark. Went up and just big dump, big dump, big dump. Like you'd be crushed. Like if you have a big position, you'd be freaking out, increasing your blood pressure while this is happening. So size small, I'm in the position, not averaging down, just in the position for now. Look at the levels on these.
I could see it. There's a gap as well. I could see being filled.
Yeah, so there's this, then I expect this is your gap here. Then there is this. I think this stock doubles here personally. If I was to buy a stock, it would be this over anything else. And the way I would do it, very simple. No, not a genius doing that. This would be my stop. Damn, never mind. This would never be my stop. My stop would be.
You're like, never mind.
I didn't realize I had a daily chart pulled. I would have my stop at around 867, 850 at the most, and buy stocks hoping to get 12, 13. That's where I would get rid of major and then leave 20% to run. But like, I'll give you an example. Let me show you something. Look at this. This is UPSD. I'm going to count the days with you, okay? So let's just start here. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, this stock went from 25 all the way to 37. That's how they move. My last one that I have that I really love, I'm in this trade for, let me check. Give me 1 second. I'm in a lot of trades. I've never usually in. Sorry, I can't figure out. But I'm in Rocket right now. It's for, I believe, March or April. And look at how this is going. And this is, again, not a chart play. And you guys would be like, what's the reason for this one? Interest rate goes down. People are going to start going to companies like Rocket, plus cost of borrowing is going down. Same logic. I expect this to get to $11.92, $12 range. That's where I'm going to cover for this. And last week we did a podcast and talked about me doing a free webinar for people that are in stocks, but they want to get into options. I'm running another session of my free webinar. We'll leave the link here. But that's basically it, Mark. That's all I got.
Dude, awesome. I'm glad you're going to do another one of those, just in case people missed it. That way you can come back and go through it and see what you think. You also like feedback, right, Mo? So honest feedback, man. Give the guy honest feedback. That way he can always get better. But I'm sure people won't be disappointed with your free webinar. It is FREE, so perfect for the holidays. But as we know, some people may not show up, but you guys should definitely show up and check out this course. Where can they find you, Mo?
Instagram, OTB Clubhouse. So again, the free webinar is for people, because I don't like wasting people's time. It's for people that are doing stocks and like, yo, these two guys come and talk about options. We want to know more. Why? It's for them.
All right. And you guys can find me, like I said, on YouTube. I'm off of Twitter and I'm off of Instagram and I'm off of Facebook. It's really hard to find me on those unless we're like friends and stuff, but I'm not really active at all on social media. I love it, man. Are you going to ever make that plunge, Mo? I have to. I got a business. I can't.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I could. It'd be hard. But the thing is, the negative stuff doesn't really like.
Yeah, bother. Yeah. It doesn't bother me either. It's just a lot of times I've realized it's kind of like an addiction. I spent a lot of time on Instagram and Twitter responding and interacting with people to try to like grow. And it was just taking up way too much time. I didn't find much value to it. So, all right. Well, listen, everybody, we appreciate you guys stopping by again. Mo, where can they find you?
So Instagram, OTB Clubhouse, Twitter, OTB Clubhouse, simple, OTB Clubhouse, no underscore, nothing, just one name.
Okay. And your webinar is when again?
We're doing one. So basically we'll drop the link on YouTube. When you click on it, all the details will be there. I'm still trying to figure out when I'm going to do it, but I want to leave the link. I'm doing, it should be this week.
All right. And we're going to put it in the description as quickly as we can. So until next time, and if it's not in description by the time this airs, just hit up Mo. Like I said, really friendly. It's not a fake Mo or OTB underscore, anything like that. He's never going to ask you to pay him with crypto, or he's not going to be like, hey, can I trade for you? It's not Mo. I got so much of that on Instagram. It's tiring. All right. Until next time, y'all. Peace out and thank you for stopping by.